My name is Nima. I'm an occupational therapist here at Reston, in the Reston NICU. And this is,
Hi, I'm Carly, and I'm a physical therapist in the NICU.
so we're just here to kind of demonstrate some do's and don'ts and just some positional reviews with the use of the aids and stuff we have here.
Hi, so the first positioner we're going to talk about is the bendy bumper, and this is something a lot of you are familiar with. The purpose of this is to provide the baby containment, especially since the baby is now out of the uterus and gravity's now fighting them. The bendy bumper allows them to have something to push off against to mimic the uterus. It even has the same feel as when they're pushing off in the uterus. You can use the bendy bumper in all the positions: supine, side lying, prone. There are different sizes, so you want to make sure you're using the correct size that's appropriate for the baby's weight and height. You want to get the baby in a flex position to promote how they are in utero. You can also use the bendy bumper. You also don't want to use the bendy bumper too wide, otherwise it's not serving its purpose. You want to keep it close to the baby, make sure they have enough room for breathing. You can also put the bendy bumper on the top and use it with the snuggle up, and that's something else we're going to talk about as well. Baby isn't the best at saying flex, but you want to promote physiological flexion, and you can use it in conjunction with other positioners to give the baby the support and regulation that they need.
Okay, so the next position we're going to show is the snuggle up, and this is a great one to promote just some containment, give them some regulation for the babies, and also again working on that physiological flexion, building those flexor muscles that they should be developing when, if they were in utero. And this is one that you can actually use in conjunction with a bendy bumper, so we'll show you how to do that as well. So with the snuggle up, you want to make sure you have the right size for the baby. You don't want to choose a small one because they would extend out of it and it wouldn't really properly fit them or keep them contained. A big one for a small baby, again, it wouldn't do this. It wouldn't contain them or give them the same kind of feeling. So you want to make sure your sizing is always right with the baby. So what you want to do is you take the baby. You can get the baby either in supine. Just make sure that their feet are up against a little or close to the end part here, so if they needed to, they can push off against it, again giving that feedback as to what it would be like in utero. And if you're in supine, you can bring their hands to midline and bring the straps over just to maintain it, and again wrap them in this way. When with the snuggle up or the bendy bumper, you can bring it up and give them that extra containment here, and if you need another one, you can actually add one up here as well. Or if you're going to side lying, same concept. You're going to get them midline with their arms and hands in front. Make sure their spine is in good neutral position. Again, keeping their feet closer to brace. If you needed something just to keep their hips more in midline or aligned better, you can get a little roll up that you guys use and keep it between their knees just to give them that extra support. Sometimes in side lying, I like to do a cross section because I feel like it gives them a little bit more support. Just over, and same thing on the other side, just over, and then you can use the bendy as extra support. I like this also because when you want to transport the baby, it's an easy transport. So let's say you want to give the baby to mom, you can actually take the whole snuggle up and maintain that containment and regulation during that transfer, because quick movements like moving things and stuff can sometimes startle the baby. So it's a good idea to maybe just keep them in the snuggle up and then do the transport itself. That's it.
Hi, so the next item we have is the Freddy Frog, and like of the other positioners, our goal is to promote containment, physiological flexion, and self-regulation. So with the Freddy Frog, it is made out of beads inside that can be shifted around. It weighs almost 1 pound, and the goal is to put it around the baby. You can put it around the baby's head around the baby's neck and around the hips. So as you can see, it's going to provide some extra support for the baby in addition to the other positioners. So this is an example of it around the neck and the head. The baby's in this position. You can shift the beads this way and put it around the legs because the babies tend to be disorganized and trying to move. So it gives them the extra feedback. A few things that you want to avoid doing is putting the Freddy Frog completely over the baby because of the weight. You also do not want to put the Freddy Frog underneath their head. That is a no-no. And you also do not want to put the Freddy Frog underneath their body and have them lying on it.
Alright, so the next one we're going to show you guys is the Dandelion light. This is great when you want to keep the baby contained, especially during like phototherapy when they're a little bit more irritable. So what you want to do, this part right here is for the top of the baby, so it's for the baby's head, not for the bottom. So it's different from the snuggle up. So you take the baby and you want to make sure that it's kind of crowning around the baby. So again, it's giving that like input to through the head to keep that containment. There's two sleeves that come, a short one and a long one. One sleeve doesn't have the Velcro, the other one does. Now, for the babies, you want to make sure they're nice and put in a flex position. You can put them on their back, you can put them sideline, you can put them prone. For this, I'll show it more in supine. So what I would recommend is you get the baby's hands together, close to midline, and you want to take the shorter end and bring it over, keep them nice and contained. And you take the longer end and bring it around, and you can tuck the Velcro right under it, and it Velcros pretty easily. Velcros onto anything actually. And then you can give the baby a little extra support either with the little roll you made earlier for your snuggle up, and just put it under the hips just to give them a little bit more flexion. And then you take the swaddle part and you pull it up, bring it over, and keep that baby nice and contained, just like so. So during phototherapy, that long period of time where they're just there, they still have that containment that they would feel like in utero. You can also use this in conjunction with our bendy. You can use the same thing, just give them that extra containment if it's a little wild child that we have. So this is how you would use a Dandelion light. All right, so the next position we're going to show you guys is the Z-Flow mattress. This is a great one for our smaller babies, the ones that need a little bit more extra loving, especially if they have like a lot more tubes and lines and stuff. And it really does just help to keep the baby a little bit more contained. I think these also come in slightly different sizes. So for this one, we have this size. And with the Z-Flow mattress, you can put the baby supine, sideline, or on their back, or supine side, or on their belly, I mean. And really what you want to do is kind of just contain. You can contour the mattress for the baby, so to keep them, give them that extra input to regulate, keep them contained, promote that physiological flexion that we talk about here a lot. And this is a great one to use also with two-person care. So in supine, you know, when you're working with the nurse or your therapist, you can just, one person can contour hold the baby down, or can provide the containment, and then you just start bringing in the mattress onto the side. One person works on one side, the other person works on the other. You want to make sure you maintain that flexion position, especially at the legs, because you want to have some kind of bracing almost for the baby's feet, just again to provide that containment and that flexion here. Okay, so this one hyperextends a little bit up. But again, you can also put like a roll or something underneath the baby's hips if needed. But basically you're gonna get them in a good midline position, contour their heads. If their head's turned to one way and there's a tube, you can always contour the mattress so that you have a place to rest the tube. But again, you just bring it up, keep the baby nice and contained. You can use the sleeve of the bendy bumper, just the sleeve parts, and use it as that extra reinforcement if you need to, just to keep them contained as well. So this is our supine position. Side lying, any position you're going to change the baby into, you want to make sure that you always kind of readjust the mattress, make sure it's flat, so there's no pressure points, because these baby skins are so fragile. You want to maintain their skin integrity. So flat, again, this is also why it's good to do when you have like an extra hand as well. side lying. Again, you want to just maintain that flexion position, keep them contained, bring their hips and knees in midline. You know, start again, same thing, just contouring at the head and around. And again, if you have two people, great. You can just kind of get someone else, the next second person, to work on the other side. You want to brace their feet up and really keep them in a nice flex position this way. And again, you can use that extra sleeves of the bendy to give the baby a little bit more containment and regulation. If there's an ET tube coming out of the baby, you can give them just a little divot here and do it this way, or if they're coming out the other way, depending on where the baby's tubes are. Okay. The last position would be your prone. And truly, this is great, you know, for different positions, because again, you can contour them into flexion. With prone, what you want to make sure is that if you have two people, one person pulling the baby, but the second person is just creating a little bit of a roll or an indent or something right in the middle where you would lay the baby down. So when you would position the baby, would just go right over the bump. Keep their hips nice and flexed. Turn their head to the side if you know they need the clearance for their airway. And you can start again just contouring. Contour up. Bring them around the side and up this way. Make sure they can turn their head. This one doesn't really want to keep turned, but so basically you want to make sure that they are in a good contained position. And again, if there's any tubing, you can kind of figure out where you want to put the little indent for the tube. Okay, so this would be your Z-Foam mattress. Again, this is great for the littler babies, especially with your two-person cares. I think this is a great device to use.
Hi, so our next positioner we have is the Z-Flow head positioner, and similar to the mattress, it contours to the baby's head shape so that we can avoid things like brachiocephaly, plagiocephaly, scapulocephaly. So this one actually has a gel pillow cushion under it, but you can also use the pillow sheet case. So you're going to place this under the baby's head, but first of all, you need to make sure that if the baby's in an open crib, that you have a doctor's order to have this positioner. So a lot of times babies tend to develop a preference of turning their head to the right or to the left, and if that's the case, they can develop scapulocephaly, where they have a lot of flatness on the sides of their head. So at this age, the baby's heads are still soft, moldable, and growing. So we can still make sure that they're developing symmetrical head shapes as they grow. So if the baby tends to turn their head to the right, and we want the baby to turn their head to the left, then we'll contour the Z-Flow to their head shape. So we're going to give them a little spot here, give them a little neck support here, and we're going to give them the contour to the side and turn their head to the left. Okay, and then we can also give them a little bit of support here and leave this part flat. A little space here so that pressure areas. All right, so that is for left rotation. If we want the baby to be in a more neutral position, we're gonna also contour it on the other side. Okay. How does that look? All right. Another option that you can use for a head positioner is the Dandle gel pillow, and it comes with its own cover. It's also kind of rectangular shaped. As you can see, it can help with the smaller babies and preventing pressure points. So just tuck that in there. And then we'll put it under the baby's head. And this is also another option that you can use to help prevent the babies from developing asymmetrical head shapes as they grow.